Good morning, my friends and orchid enthusiasts and miscellaneous YouTube people. Not actually sure if you're going to be hearing this or if you'll be hearing a later recorded voiceover. I'm still kind of playing around with using, the good mic, but the good mic does not work with my camera setup, so I have to do them separately. Anyway, I am doing some repotting today, and I'm filming by hand first because I have to do a few things before I can do that. One of which is get the air plant jellyfish off of my camera mount. Well, I had to move everything away from the window. I mean, you can see what it's like outside, but I still sometimes have to open the window to manage the temperature in here. I like it a little cooler than anyone else in this house, so I have turned off my heating unit, but the heat from the rest of the house still gets in. So I have to crack a window to not sweat to death, and that means that the orchids cannot live on that windowsill. It's way too cold right there to keep the rest of the room nice. So they've been moved over here, and the air plant, but anyways, I'm going to be repotting. I'll be repotting the twins today. I'm still debating if I want to put them in two separate pots or keep them in the same pot. Probably in the same pot, but they do need repotting. And I'm also going to be repotting Cleo here. Cleo is the first orchid I got and the first orchid I repotted. I'll see if I can remember to link that video below. And I did an okay job at the time, but because she has grown up since then, and her roots have mostly become air roots, she's not even anchored in this pot. She's just kind of sitting on top of it. So yeah, she needs repotting. And so I'm going to prep her to repot an orchid, the phalaenopsis. You should soak them first so their roots are maximally soft and flexible so they don't get damaged. And so once they're soaked, and once I've freed up the camera mount, we will resume, and I will have a bit of a chat with you while I repot. See you in a moment. Alrighty, here we are. Ready to get this pair of phalaenopsis twins out of their soaking bath and out of the pot they came in and into something, I mean, honestly, slightly bigger, but that's not the thing. The thing is that they need fresh medium. So, let's see. I have a feeling there's going to be a nursery plug on each of these. So let's just pull. Oh yeah, look at that. Yep. There it is. All right. Get this top bark. Oh, there's two nursery plugs. Ha! I always love when that happens. Because they just pot up. They just put the little one into a bigger pot, and then they just put that into a even bigger pot. So, first step, pretty easy. Getting all this extra stuff off. It's not packed in there like it is on some. Well, that's definitely, oh, yeah, this is that, what is it, that coconut husk, I think, here? Nope, and that's a dead root. So that's the next step. We're going to rinse off some of this dirt so I can see a little better. Sloosh, 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 sloosh. Sloosh, 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 sloosh. Alrighty. And of course I have neglected to have my scissors right here. I am real organized and with it. So, I guess hang on a sec while I grab those. Alright, I couldn't find my usual garden snips. I don't know where those went. So we're just gonna alcohol wipe down my small sewing scissors instead. So, lightly sterilized. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay. And that's the next thing, is trim everything dead off of this, including the old flower spike. Hup. Oh, that doesn't want to come. Well, also these aren't as sharp. These are thread trimming scissors, not fabric cutting scissors. So they're not, they're kind of old and janky. Anyways, there's a lot of dead roots on this poor thing. And it definitely needs the repot. So we're just gonna snip all those. You can tell they're dead when they're just kind of flat and hollow. As the live ones, whatever color they are, green or white, either one, or yellow, are firm and not soft and smushy. Ooh, shoop. Yeah, this definitely needed the repot. It probably needed the repot months ago. Oh, now that's interesting, because this is soft right here, but down at the bottom, it's still alive. So we're not gonna... Oh, that one's dead all the way down, though. And this poor baby. This poor baby. Yeah. Poor baby. Yeah, there's enough live root on there, though, that, you know, I'm not worried about this making it. Phalaenopsis can do really well with hardly any roots at all. They are tough puppies. But, oop, it's got bark stuck to it. But, of course, more roots means more resilience. So, getting all the last of this old medium out. That's another dead spot. Come here. Let's trim you off. There. And what else we got? How are you? Yeah, those guys are dead. Man, this has got like one good root. Well, no, a couple of good roots, but still. Alright. Give that another quick rinse. And then we're going to set it aside in the pot. And we're going to get... Whoop. We're going to get her sister out. Oh, that was in a whole ass cup. It just pulled out of the cup. Alright. So, man, I'm making a mess. That's life. So, yep, here's another cup. Doop 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 doo. Out you come. You ready? Yeah. And comes out easy peasy. That's why you soak them. That makes that part easier. And let's just get all this medium off into the bucket. Alright, this is going to be the same deal. Loose old medium. God, I really wish they wouldn't leave it in the old medium like that, though. That is rotten. I mean, no wonder these roots are dying. The medium inside that little cup is just dead. The bark outside of it's actually not too bad. If it had been properly repotted, I could probably leave it another 6 months, year even. But nope. It is in trouble. Alright, let's get all this bark off. Alright, there we go. So, cleaned the big chunks off. Give it a little dunk. Dunkity dunkity dunk. And here we go. Same thing. Trim the dead roots. This is... This one's in about the same shape as the other one, which is to say, a lot of... Oh, that one had a live end. But, I mean, look at... I'm not sure the live end would have made it, because look at how terrible that... The rest of it's just falling apart, rotten through. Anyway, it's fine. It has enough other roots. Sorry, orchid. They are, like I said, they are tough. They can survive with, like, the tiniest little root stub if you're very, very meticulous about watering them. But like I say, the more good, healthy root they have, the better. Which is, when we get to Cleo here, that's all good roots. I haven't taken good care of her. She's probably got some dead ones down in there, but I mean, mostly in pretty good shape. Anyway, alright, that's dead from there. And when you trim off the dead ones, you don't trim into the live material. You only want to cut into live material when you're cutting off something that's an infection, where you want to get everything that can spread, where it's just gotten waterlogged from old medium and just come off like that. You err on the side of leaving rather than taking. Because the just rotting from the degradation of the medium and the moisture is not contagious. It will. Alright, and that's what we've got of this one. Yep. Alright, and these two are like clones of the same original plant. I bloom the same color. So they'll have no trouble staying in the same pot. They need the same kinds of conditions. So let's clear some of this goop out of the way. Goop, 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 goop. Oh, that's also soggy. Yeah, this table, this is not good for the table, but it's such an old, crappy IKEA table that I don't care. Let's get a paper towel, though. Oh man, my fingers are too wet to turn off the camera, so you're just going to have to hang. I could edit it later, but I probably won't. Alright, fortunately the paper towels are nearby. There we go. Slurp that up. Get all that nonsense aside. Yeah, that's a mess. Alright, so now let's get some fresh things in this pot. First thing is, as I like to do, because orchids tend to get top heavy real easily, I like to weight down the bottom with something they can still grow roots through, which is these little clay pellets. They're meant for hydroponics. You can get them in just like plain brown or whatever, but I like the colorful ones. They don't cost any extra, so that's what I get. Alright. Isn't this just riveting cinema? Alright, next we want some orchid bark. I'm just going to go about halfway there. And we want a little sphagnum in there to help retain moisture without being something that'll rot or break down. So I'm just going to kind of mix some of that in. Oh. Whoop. Oh, we're having a cat visit. Jed, you menace. Don't knock my plants over. This is Jed. He is a hazard. You gonna say hi to the camera, Jed? No, he doesn't know it's there. All right, out of my way, kitty. All right, I want to get some of this sphagnum down towards the bottom of this bark. I should have mixed them in layers. You know me. I'm always with it, always efficient, yada yada. All right, now, I also want to tuck these long roots down in there. All right, and then we can kind of just set her on this side and make a little space. You can see everything, I'm sure. Someday I might get a different camera setup. I know this isn't perfect, but I feel weird sometimes about having my face on camera. I don't know. Issues. It's not that I think I'm ugly. It's just, I just have issues. That's all. Don't we all? All right. Get these two just kind of nestled down in there. Tucked in where I want them. And I want to lean the stems just slightly to the side. In nature, orchids don't grow straight up and down. They grow spilling sideways, and that helps them not catch water in the little cup at the top. Bromeliads evolved to catch water in the little cup at the top. Orchids evolved to not, because it tends to make the crown rot. So I like to angle them a little bit just to make it less likely for me to absent-mindedly murder my orchids. Alright, a little more sphagnum in just to retain some moisture, and then we'll top it up with more orchid bark. Oh. And this is the black gold mix, so it has a little perlite in it. I think the perlites all fall into the bottom of the bag though, so I'm just getting the bark, but that's fine. I don't care. Perlite is not necessary for orchids. So we'll tuck this bark in around, get them all nice and settled. Alrighty. And there is, oh, it needs just a little more in there. There we go. Yep. I think I'm going to add a smidge more bark, and then we'll be done. Just grab a handful. Bloop, 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 bloop. Oh, it's such a mess. I'm definitely have to wash this table and wash my hands after this. Oh well. It's gardening. It's supposed to be messy, right? Is it gardening if you take care of houseplants? I mean, it's not a garden, so maybe not. Horticulture, botany, orchid bark everywhere. All right, we will have to give everybody a good wash, but that's looking like I want it to. So there we go. Our twins. I keep saying the twins because I can never remember their names. They're named after a couple of the charities, the Greek, spirits of positive concepts of victory and victory and success and so on. And I can never remember their names. I have it written down. I know I'm weird to name all my orchids. Anyways, so we're done with this for now. So I'm gonna turn off the camera, clean up a little, and get ready to repot Cleo here. So I'll see you back in a minute. All right, we're back. I did look up the twins' names. It's Cleta and Phana. Anyway, this is going to come out real easy because it's barely got any roots down in there. They're just all hair roots everywhere. So out comes Cleo, or not Cleo. Cleo's the other one. This is Calliope. Boy, I am with it. I should know the name of my oldest orchid. No, Cleo is the one that's purple, bluish purple, and really pretty and doesn't photograph well. Oh, and she's got one stuck through the pot. Can I get you out without killing you? I think I just crunched it. All right, we're just going to cut it off. Shoop. Losing a little nub of root is certainly not going to hurt her. So, no other roots grown through? No. All right, off we go. Oh, something's stuck, though. What's stuck over here? Oh, one's trying to grow through on the bottom. All right, so there are some more roots in the pot. I didn't think there were that many roots in this pot. Anyways, this is a reusable pot. These are good quality. So use that on some other orchid, but I do want to pot her up just a tiny size, and just a little bigger. And I had her potted in this pre-made mix I got. And honestly, the medium is still good. She's been in here, what? Not even a year. So I am probably going to reuse this. Because, I mean, look, that's not rotten at all. This isn't breaking down. So we're going to reuse this, but she needs a little more. And she needs a little dead root bits and things like that pulled out. Yeah, this was a phalaenopsis mix I bought. It's a little sphagnum heavy for my climate. But I'm sure it's beautiful if you live somewhere really dry. But I live somewhere really soggy. I mean, you saw that view out the window earlier. And her roots down in there are actually really good. I was worried because she's so wobbly at the top, but it's just because they're all clustered right here. So they're not they're not providing structural support, but obviously they're getting water up in. And we're gonna look for dead ones. But see, this is why you repot. When they stay in the medium too long, the roots just rot. But if you repot regularly and you keep them in a medium that's not rotten, yeah, there's one little fragment of dead root and one little bit that just came off. I'm not even sure that is a root. That might just be straw that got in the sphagnum. All right, so that's easy. Now we're going to put her into one of these ones I made better, like cutting holes in the side, because they're good plastic, but they just aren't aerated enough for orchids. Anyway, so here we go. Same procedure. She needs this because wow, is she top heavy. And then we're going to put some of these chunky bits in the bottom. Sphagnum. And, well, let's see if we can just kind of tuck those in around her. And I want to tuck more of these down in, a couple of the air roots down in, just to encourage her to not fall over. We want to get her, like, down as low in this pot as I can, because she is so top heavy with all those air roots. And I should have soaked the air roots. So I would like to tuck them down more. Let's see if I can... Oh, I think I cracked it. Oh well. Losing one won't kill her. Look how many she has. So, in you go. Whoop. In you go. Okay. Nope. We're taking all that out. Try again. It's wiggly green Tetris. Alright. I want her stem as low as I can get it so that she'll not be trying to fall out of this pot. She was just trying so hard to fall out of the last pot. It was distressing me. So, tuck in these bark chunks. Those are like coconut husk, actually, I think. Not bark. Same purpose, though. It's just something big and chunky that makes sure there's air in around the roots. The sphagnum keeps in the moisture, and you don't want to put it in tight, because if you tuck it in densely, you're going to suffocate your plant. But it helps keep in the moisture, so you want a little bit. As I say, if you live in somewhere that's dry, you can go with like all sphagnum. But I live somewhere that is just soggy, so I want all this bark. Big old bark chunks. And is that all the bark in there? Yeah. This has also got a little perlite. Might as well put in the perlite. Yeah, perlite. Yeah, say this was a pre-mixed orchid mix I bought early on because Calliope here was my first orchid. And I figured, I don't know, I'll just buy something for orchids. And it was fine. It's not bad for her or anything, but she does want just a little less sphagnum and a little more bark in my climate to be ideal. So let's get some bark. Put that down in there. Yeah, didn't have anything of philosophical substance to say today. I like the rambles, you know. I like just chatting with you guys. It's the kind of thing I put on in the background when I'm working. Is people who are just kind of chatty, you know, live streams, folks I find interesting. Educational stuff, too. I've been watching a guy talk about sponges. The sponge evolution, particularly prehistoric sponges, which is fascinating. I've always been particularly interested in the Cambrian. And, oh man, I need a poker. I need to get stuff down in there. Well, you don't need to sit and watch me poke bark around in this. But anyway, I hope you haven't minded that I didn't have anything more substantial to say. But it is nice to just talk about what the orchids need. The orchids need pretty simple needs. They just need to be a little damp and a little aerated and in fresh medium that's not rotting, watered whenever they're thirsty, which, by the way, is whenever the roots have this silvery coat on them. That is the sign that it is dry. And of course, the ones out in the air are always dry because the air dries them out. But if the ones down in the pot are that color too, then you need to water it. Very simple, very simple. It just tells you, which other plants don't do. So that's part of why I like orchids. I find them easier than other houseplants. But now I'll let you go, and you can go off and watch the sponge guy. I don't know, maybe I'll link him if I remember to in the description. Yeah. And thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again soon.